What's good? We back. It's the Boxing Clinic of Morris. Your boy CJ Goodfellow. Y'all know what it is. We back. Y'all know we talk more than boxing. We talking this NBA-ish today. Predicting the series for the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers. I believe the Boston Celtics have home court advantage. So that'd be huge. But I believe they had home court advantage last year. That was a totally different team. This series kicks off Sunday at 3:30. If you didn't know, the Western Conference Finals kicks off Monday between the Warriors and the Rockets. The Rockets have home court advantage. I did that prediction the other day. I'll link it in the description so y'all know there's trill. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's all in the description. It's a difficult series right here to predict because LeBron got a lot of rest, but his team ain't that good. And I might have an idea of how Brad Stevenson is going to attack LeBron. I must say this, or attack the Cleveland Cavaliers. The NBA, where they had their separate awards as far as the Player Association awards and the coaches. Shout out to the hating-ass coaches in the NBA. Brad Stevenson had a great year with the Celtics, with Kyrie being injured in and out the lineup, Gordon Hayward gone. He took the Celtics to the second seed and continues to win without Kyrie. And all of them didn't give him one vote for Coach of the Year as far as amongst his peers. Not the NBA Coach of the Year award, but amongst his coaching peers. They voted Dwayne Casey as the Coach of the Year, gave votes to Doc Rivers, Greg Popovich, just to name a few, but didn't give one vote to Brad Stevens. So, shout out to the hating-ass coaches who didn't vote for Brad Stevens and jealous of his success and jealous of his coaching altitude, because he's one of the best coaches in the NBA, definitely top 5 in my opinion. I had to get that out of there, man, because that's just some hate shit. Not one vote for Coach of the Year amongst his peers. That's just sour grapes, man. Real talk. But what he doing with Boston is amazing, and I'm pretty sure he gonna figure out a way to kind of neutralize what they doing. And I think I have an idea what he's gonna do. He's probably gonna let LeBron get his. But he gonna defend and shut down everybody else. And come the fourth quarter, we know LeBron is not always money, and he gonna just live and die letting LeBron do what he do. And he gonna continue to defend the Kevin Loves, the George Hills of the world, the J.R. Smith of the world, and players of that nature. And he gonna roll the dice. He got an offensive system that works. They scoring points now. Philadelphia had the number 4 defense in the league. They was routinely hitting over 100 points, 110 points versus them, and legitimately was doing their thing. So it's just showing that Boston is gonna put up points, man. Cleveland, they don't put up that many points. I'm not saying they don't put up that many points. They don't defend that well, excuse me. But I believe LeBron, it's on another level right now. It's going to be hard to deny him to the finals. I think this is going to be a tough series for Cleveland. For Cleveland, it's going to have to be somebody going to have to step up like they were stepping up in the last series. They thought Indiana was tough. They really did think Indiana was tough defensively, and they had active guards. They had good defenders. Well, Boston is way better than Indiana defensively. They got better interior players, funny as it sounds, because Sabonis and Thaddeus Young and Miles Turner was basically non-existent in that series. Al Horford gonna do a little bit more. The Morris twin gonna do a little bit more. Baines gonna do some more. And Tatum and Brown. Brown is playing on other levels. Marcus Smart is bringing some defensive intensity. Terry Rozier. If he can be able to dominate, Philly, and he was able to dominate Brogdon and Eric Bledsoe in Milwaukee, he's going to have a field day with Kyle Korver, George Hill, J.R. Smith and them, And this is going to be a tough series for LeBron, but LeBron has been here so many times, man. They don't have a matchup for him. They don't have a matchup for LeBron. So LeBron got to take advantage of that. He going to be selfish. He going to do what he did in the finals last year and just dominate. But the thing about it, he don't have a Kyrie Irving, another guy that can match his 30, match his 40. Match his fly. He don't have that guy in Cleveland. and that might end up hurting them, you know. And people forget, you know, LeBron does this. Indiana, they don't have no matchup for LeBron. They're not a good overall team in the grand scheme of the NBA. Neither is Toronto. They don't have a matchup for LeBron in Toronto. And not saying Boston do have a matchup, but they play excellent team defense. Philadelphia was a great defensive team. And they was routinely hitting over 100 points on them. So I expect this to be a high-scoring series. LeBron is an excellent player. He's a baller. But Boston has a better team, to be honest. But in a series, the best player sometimes trumps that. You know, so it's gonna be, you know, they both gonna be rested. It's gonna be a difficult series. I was on record saying that I thought LeBron was gonna make it to the finals. And for Cleveland, it's gonna have to be somebody consistently stepping up. But in these situations, I don't trust J.R. Smith, Kyle Korver. I don't care how well they're playing versus Toronto. It's easy to front run. You know, a team that you know you're gonna beat. Because in Indiana, them suckers weren't showing up. Kevin Love showed up here and there. And this is a team that's way better than Indiana, in my opinion. Way better. And if Kyrie was on this squad, and if Hayward was on this squad, that team could contend for a championship. They can get Golden State to run for their money because they can play defense. And Boston will probably be a better, even right now, Boston will probably make for a bit more competitive finals with Golden State or Houston than Cleveland will. Cleveland is able to do that because Toronto was inferior. It's a bad matchup. Toronto was a good regular season team with a guy in Kyle Lowry who can't guard nobody, a guy in DeRozan who was a LeBron fan who looks up to LeBron and can't play when LeBron is on the court. Valanciunas is terrible. Ibaka been terrible. It's not a really good team. It was a good regular season team. You know, they probably beat up on a lot of bad, but it wasn't a good team. Indiana, Victor Oladipo, a hell of a player. But that's not a good team in the grand scheme in the grand scheme of the NBA. And I'm gonna change my tune on this. I'm gonna take Boston in 6. You know, I know it sounds silly. I think they're gonna finish Cleveland off on their home court. On Cleveland home court. I'm gonna take Boston in 6. I was with LeBron at first, but I'm just looking at Boston. They defended at a high level, and then they scoring on a high level versus a top 5 defense in Philly. I could just imagine what they're gonna do to Cleveland. I expect LeBron to do what he do in this series, but I got Boston in 6, man. And that's my opinion. I just changed it. I like what Boston brings to the table. I like what Rozier bringing to the table. Rozier, Jaylen Brown has been to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They wasn't the stars, but I'm picking the Celtics in 6. I might be wrong, but it is what it is.